issues there. Just, you know, as my son gets taller, it's better just to not have open bottles
Yeah, I
chilling.
mean, I'd
So,
imagine so.
so
I took a lease out on your heart. I took a lease out on your heart. Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have fun? Can I at least have
Welcome back, everybody. We are Rough Draft Research. You are the audience, and together we are on a quest for dynasty domination. How's it going over there, Dan?
oh, so good. So fucking
That's
good, dude.
good.
I'm doing well.
Good, good. I'm
How are
glad to
you?
hear that. I'm doing all right. I got my Elijah Mitchell jersey, rocking
Uh,
that today because we're getting into a little rookie flag plants, and I would say there's been arguably no bigger flag plant on this show than me going off about Elijah Mitchell. But with that noted, I'll let you kind of get into it. Let you talk about what we're getting into today.
yeah, okay. Well, I mean, I should have wore a shirt of my own because like you're saying, man, we're kind of getting our last little rookie love fest going here. I
Mhm.
thought it'd be a good idea or somewhat fun to look at guys that we were kind of into through the rookie scouting film process and make some decisions whether we really want to replant that flag or if we'd like to bury that flag and just never talk about our hot takes on these players again. Um, you're wearing the Mitchell, obviously Trey Sermon is a flag that I've buried a long time ago. It's still wet from the tears before the burial, but it's
Yeah,
all good.
it seems
So
to
this
occasionally try to poke back out every now and again, but I think it is dead now.
it's ridiculous. I mean, that's fine. That's fine. He's not the worst Trey that the 49ers have ever
Oof,
drafted. So
oof.
we can
Topical.
we can keep that. We can keep something there. But yeah, I mean, you know, this is just us just kind of revisiting some stuff, man, looking at how it all shook out as far as going through combine draft, landing spot, just kind of the team and whether we're still excited or not.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. You want me to just take it from there then?
I think I'd love that. Yeah.
Okay, so I've got a list of about five guys here. Let's start with a cautionary tale in the form
Ooh.
of Zay Flowers. All right. So this is an example of not devaluing people that you're into based on landing spot. Because if you go back and listen to our tournament episode and pre-draft episodes, I was really into Zay Flowers. Falls to the Ravens. I don't really like that as much. And I kind of get off of him a little bit. I talked myself into Quentin Johnston into a league, and I have Johnston rank lower as a player, but I liked his landing spot more. Now I'm sitting here as the whole world sees Zay Flower setting the world on fire, and it's burning me alive because I should have just done it. I even took Richardson and for the belt over him, and now I've been spending the entire offseason peppering Clint with trade offers for Zay Flowers because I want him so bad. So and it's not too late. Obviously, I'm not out on Johnson. I believe in that logic. I still like it, but just seeing Zay Flowers' elusivity and playmaking ability like already on display, I just am replanting my flag. I think he's going to have the best rookie wide receiver season. I don't know that he'll have the best career, especially with JSN maybe missing time early with that injury. I think Zay Flowers is going to have the best rookie year, hands down, and he could end up being a workhorse like he was in college for Boston College. 130 targets his senior year, 83 the year before that, 106 the year before that. I just feel like something's brewing here, and I think him and Lamar are going to have a connection, and I'm mad at myself for missing out on it.
It's tough, man. It's tough not to get a little tilty when like the Ravens, you know.
Hmm.
That's like the death sentence for that rookie. So
Yeah,
yeah, but I can see what you're saying, man. You're replaying that flag. You
yeah.
still think he's a hot shit.
I
And
don't have shares, but I think he's the shit. So
yep.
I think he's gonna crush it.
I think this is what happens, right? These are the guys that we liked and we should have drafted, and we let other people take him right out
Yeah,
from under us, even
it's
though
tough.
the price was probably right. But
Hmm.
well, I've got a guy, wide receiver that I've been this guy, Jonathan Mingo. All right.
Mm,
If you guys have heard me talking about this guy before, I seriously have been into him for several years. You know, watching some old Elijah Moore film, just getting excited about what I was seeing here with Mingo. And now I see him on the field in the preseason, and that high draft capital is hitting. You know, he was the 39th pick guy, you know, fifth wide receiver off the board after that
hmm.
cluster of four. And you know, I got a little scared when that happened because I wanted him to be a sleeper for me. So when I saw the NFL, you know, treat him with that high draft capital, it made me, you know, like that's kind of a red flag for me
Hmm.
when I think a guy should be flying under the radar and all of a sudden he's not.
Hmm.
So I got a little scared, a little tilt on that, but man, watching him in preseason, even though he only has one catch for 15 yards through two games,
It was a good
it's
catch.
still, yeah, it was a great catch, man. And it's like it's about the size and the speed and the physicality and the combination there. So I'm gonna have to replant my flag on him. And this got to be like a dynasty only thing. This first year is going to be
Yeah,
so rough for this team, man. I mean, there's so much new, and I'm scared. Like, I don't know if Bryce Young's going to be awesome at all as a rookie. Um, but the way it shakes out, this depth chart is like, you know, Miles Sanders new to the team, Adam Thielen's new to the team, DJ Chark's new to the team. I think that he has a pretty strong chance to be easily the number three guy over TMJ because TMJ hasn't done way successful things so far, and he was injured coming into the league. But I just think Mingo has a chance, man, with a 33-year-old and a injury prone DJ Chark to kind of get himself number two targets and establish a role on this team just by being kind of the prototypical badass wide receiver package. So yeah, I don't know, man. I'm replaying the flag. I got really scared. Wasn't a great landing spot in my opinion. Like I said, I got frightened when everyone got right on his stock. I hate that, man. You ever have a guy you're like, man, this is my dude. Like I pick him third round, right? I'm ready for him in the third round, and all of a sudden he's the fifth wide receiver off the board. It really messed with me, man, and I tilted hard, but I drafted him anyway. I traded it to get him, and I'm keeping that flag planted, man. So I don't
good.
know.
I mean, yeah, and that's one of the situations where if he hits, he gets to grow with Bryce Young, and now you get that connection to build. And yeah, I mean, like you said, that he was the next wide receiver off the board, similarly to like say Christian Watson last year, and we saw the rookie season that that dude had, and he was
Yeah,
relatively like unexpected that early as well. So
true.
like you could have a not that they're the same player, I guess. I'm not comparing them play wise, but you could have a similar thing. And yeah, I do like Mingo. I like Bryce Young at least to be good, maybe not superstar level, but I do think he'll be good in the NFL. Maybe not this year. That line not looking so great.
Dude,
It's
no.
gonna hurt him. But yeah, I like where your head's at though, for sure.
Hell yeah. Well, what you
Um,
got talking about, man?
let's move to the RB room and some names that I'm sure you remember me hearing or remember me talking about several times. So let's go with Kendre Miller. All right. And I'm gonna replant this flag. He's already had his share of injury concerns, which isn't great for running back. But to me, he looked fine against the Chargers the other day. Everything you saw or everything you wanted to see from him shined. It was clear and obvious to me. He shot out of the hole on that one touchdown, just that burst through the vision through the hole, and then the burst to kind of seal the touchdown. I mean, the yards per carry wasn't great. It was like 2.3, but there was a play where Kendra even spun out of a guy that would have tackled him for a 2 yard loss. He just happened to spin out and then run into two other guys that were at the line of scrimmage for him. So if that improves, like he's already showing that he's making people miss. And then the piece de resistance or whatever, or however you want to call it, was that incredible diving 27-yard catch on a wheel route. That was awesome. If you haven't seen it, go back and look it up. He just laid out and caught that ball. Ended the day with 13 touches, over 50 yards, and a score. I still think you temper your expectations for Kendre Miller's rookie season. There's a lot in front of him right now. I mean, I know Kamara is going to be gone for a few weeks, but you have Jamal Williams there, and then they were even talks of like potentially them grabbing another running back. Kareem Hunt went down there for a visit. So temper your expectations, but I'm planting my flag. He just looks right in that Saints uniform running around out there. And I think he's going to work. I think he's going to end up replacing that Kamara type role. Not necessarily saying that that's who he'll be, but that's kind of like what they envision him to be with his dual threat ability, and it's already showing off.
Oh yeah, man. No, that was some spicy stuff. The Saints are kind of, I don't know, man. I'm a little
Underrated.
heated up on what they're doing over there, and he's a big part of it. I'll just slide in a guy I'm not actually talking about, but that A.T. Perry stuff, man.
Oh, A.T. Perry's coming alive.
I was hot on that A.T. Perry stuff
That's
in the
true.
film
That's true.
but not replanting that flag. Just saying, if you got an available roster spot, let's keep an eye on him. Yeah, it'll be really interesting. Not a lot of guys are getting that like 3-week suspension opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to really set yourself up for success. I mean, there was a guy that happened once too. I think his name was Jamal Williams.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that didn't work out for him. Man, so many regrets. But I got a guy that I don't think anyone can regret, and this is probably the highest profile guy I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going for the Charbs, dude. I'm going
Mm.
for Zach Charbonnet. Um, this is crazy. I know that it was really devastating to everyone when he got drafted by the Seahawks, right? And we're like, well, they just took Kenneth Walker. Not going to be much meat on the bone, but I don't know, man. Walker's got a groin injury, and me and you've been saying Charbonnet has every opportunity to be equal part with him, plus the
Yeah.
passing game work, plus maybe even a better goal line guy. But just watching him in preseason, it's been pretty good stuff. The first game was kind of rough, as 4 carries for 14 yards, but then he went 3 for 31. And he's got 3 catches for 15 yards over the preseason. So I don't know. It's nothing like to write home about, but this is a Seattle team. Now you're saying JSN might miss some time. I think with a 1-2 punch, Charbonnet is going to get all the opportunity in the world to be a serviceable back. And I really do think he can edge out Walker for that the 1A role here, add the pass game work, and it's electric, man. I mean, everybody who's watched any of his college film knows how explosive this guy is. He
Mm-hmm.
has the vision, and he has that old school run style and the power run style that I think that Carroll's going to love, and it's going to keep him on the field with the ball in his hands. Add to that the passing game work is obviously a great option for him.
Mm-hmm.
And the red zone work it's good too. I just it just all makes sense to me. I was just a little scared. Walker's awesome, but now you see could be a setback with the injury. Kind of opens the door for me to replant the flag for Charbonnet, man. I'm all gas on the fire for this one.
Yeah, I mean, we've kind of been saying it. The skill set of Charbonnet complements Walker well. And then, like you're saying, if there's a time where Charbonnet just ends up being the hot hand, like I feel like uh Pete Carroll will go for that because Walker's not so much a better runner than Charbonnet that he can't do the work. Like even if you think he is, he's not that much better. And Charbonnet's a way better receiver. So like he's just more versatile. And so in theory should be on the field more. It should almost swap to like a 60-40 or a 55-45 split or however you want to do it. Because just simply Charbonnet can do more things for you. So we'll see if that's how they want to do it. And if that is, then people got a really good running back a little later than typical because of that landing spot for sure.
Yeah, man, I don't want to, get too wild, but I feel like Charbonnet best ball action.
Mm,
That's probably where it's at because it is gonna be one of those could predict wrong, The
yeah,
guy gets 2 touchdowns and it's not the one you picked. It's gonna be a little sad
it's
on
gonna be
those
rough,
days.
rough days for some people. Well, speaking of running backs that people potentially got very late due to outside circumstances, let's go Tyjae Spears because who needs two ACLs? It's certainly not Tyjae Spears
No,
because he looks incredible. Every snap in preseason, it looks like he's going off. You could see that he scored above 90th percentile on Player Profiler's burst score as soon as he hurdled that guy against the against the Vikings. When he hurdled that guy, landed on the field, and then just immediately shotgunned out and was just literally like a cannonball. If you just straight beeline to cannonball, no arch on it, just took off and just straight to the end zone, which is awesome for him because he doesn't have that high end top speed. Like he ran a 4.52 40, which isn't bad, but it's not incredible. But his burst gives him the ability to separate almost instantly from any like speed change, like a hurdle like that, or a receiving route, like running route and cutting, or just making a cut while he's running. I just think that kind of gives him such an advantage because he's able to overcome that speed, and it gives him more speed, like he can get away and make you have to spend time catching up. And I think he looks like he belongs in the NFL just from day one. He's excited me in the preseason more than a lot of people. I think I think he might end up popping a little more this season than we anticipated because he's looked so good. And they might go, well, maybe we can reel in Derrick Henry just a bit so that he's not taking this full workload as a 29-year-old workhorse. And maybe we can do this kid because he looks great. He's out there stiff arming people, juking people, like he's doing it all. And I don't know. I feel like that no ACL and being behind Derrick Henry might have gotten us anybody that stayed loyal to Tyjae a huge discount on a superstar because he looks great to me.
yeah, man, he's electric as fuck. It's I mean, what are you gonna do? It's ridiculous. It's like it's propaganda at its height, It's like, oh, these guys are tearing their ACLs and whatnot, and
Yeah.
this guy didn't even get one. So avoid the shit out of him. But no, he was great, in college,
Hmm.
Tulane. And
Yeah, Tulane. Hmm.
yeah, dude, some good stuff down the stretch there for him. Some bowl games looking hot, but
Hmm.
if he's carrying that kind of work into the NFL, I think yeah, it's all systems go on that shit, man.
Hmm. I'm
Yeah,
into
I didn't
it.
get in on that, but it's never too late.
I should have in more places, I think, but
He could be one of those guys, give it a couple 4 or 5 weeks, let Derrick Henry do
settle
Derrick Henry
down
things.
and
Yeah,
sneak in there and grab him.
yeah, man, that's
There
what's
it
up.
is.
We've all seen it happen. Well, I'm gonna go for a guy here that I did miss out on in a draft and ended up trading to get him, and I
Okay.
paid up pretty heavily. Evan Hall, man.
Mm. Yeah,
So
yeah, you
I,
did.
yeah, trading. I gave you a bunch of shit for him, man. I messed that up, but I'm glad I have him, man, and because of all those trades and just my general opinion of him, I have to call this one a replant of the flag. It is blowing hard in the breeze, and I don't know, man. This is completely situational, kind of in my mind. You got Zach Moss, should be ready for week one, with the arm, but you got Jonathan Taylor. I suspect that he'll remain on the Colts and probably be very productive and it'll be nice. So, if you look at Moss and Taylor, and then obviously Deion Jackson still on this team, a couple RB1 weeks in there last year. Uh, I don't know. It's easy for me to want to bury this flag, but so that comes up to me as as a huge potential for him is the work ethic. You guys know his energy and just his work ethic.
Oh yeah.
But I also think he could be the pass catcher in this offense. I think he's squirrely and he's really good with the ball in his hands. I think that he's not that powerful up the middle, which is kind of evidence here by his preseason work of 11 carries for let's see, 28 yards. It's not phenomenal, but he does have, he had 2 catches for 18 yards in that first game, and he's pretty squirrely. But the reason I like him in that role is because if you look at Zach Moss through his first 3 years, his targets were 18, 32, 13. And then Jonathan Taylor, a little bit better, but 39, 51, 40. So it's nothing amazing. But if you look at the Eagles over the past 2 years with Shane Steichen as the OC, the lead targeted back was Kenny Gainwell, who was nowhere near the lead back as far as carries go. So he's not afraid to have that pass catching specialized running back. And I feel like Evan Hall has been there through training camp with Anthony Richardson, something that those other two backs can't say. And I think that he might have developed enough chemistry and he's got that go-getter attitude that could put him in a position to be utilized in kind of a specialty role like that. So I'm still pumped about him.
Yeah. I mean, even if Jonathan Taylor comes back, it obviously hurts his value tremendously, but we've seen Nyheim Hines be close to, if not a top 24 back with Jonathan Taylor there, just from being a receiving back. Now, obviously, different coaching staff, different everything, pretty much different quarterback, everything. But there is room for somebody, even if Jonathan Taylor's there. But if he's not, and now the report today from Ian Rappaport was at least saying that teams have offered something, which is more than a lot of people thought would happen. So who knows? You
got till Tuesday.
Yeah, you've got till Tuesday. All these weird demands. But yeah, so if he ends up being even splitting time with one of the more vet backs there, that's still great for a guy that was drafted in typically the fourth, fifth round of rookie drafts. So yeah, I mean, he's a good player, work ethic for days for sure.
Dude, so funny.
So I've got one more flag plant, but they can't all be winners. So I want us to get into a couple burials here, some flag berries. So I got one, and it's a guy we made it pretty far in our 64 tournament. We pushed him pretty hard up the tournament there, and it's DeWayne McBride for the Minnesota Vikings. The margin for error for McBride decreased tremendously when he was a 7th round pick. I kind of thought if he's a 4th or a 5th round pick, then this team might see him as a ground and pound option, and then they have somebody else do the passing work. That could work. He's a 7th round pick with only really his real strength was his natural running ability. The team's not showing commitment to that for a 7th round pick. So now he's got to not only overcome that, now he has to develop into the passing game to become more versatile for him. Now he has that 7th round pick vibe on him. And then searching for reports of him for news, it's like a ghost town. You don't hear anything about him. And that's not good for a 7th round pick. Like if you're a 7th round pick, you got to be making at least a little noise. Like I should see an article somewhere that said, hey, this guy looked good today. Not seeing it. Nothing turning heads, nothing like that. And then you see it in the preseason. I feel like he's getting outclassed by Ty Chandler when they're on the field together. Ty Chandler looks like the far superior player. He's listed at 4th on the depth chart. DeWayne McBride is behind Ty Chandler. Most teams don't even carry 4 running backs. So even if the Vikings do, he's still on the cusp of losing that spot. And I did like him. I liked his play style coming out of UAB. I thought he was going to have a higher draft capital, and he hasn't. And I think I'm burying this flag. I think I'm saying it was a whiff. I hope he proves me wrong. I really do. And I still see the opportunity for him in Minnesota. Everything I said about Alexander Madison and Ty Chandler and that whole field as a whole, with Kene Nwangwu is also in that running back jam chart. He's actually listed as second on their depth chart. So that's wild.
rough.
But anyway, like I believe in what I said about McBride in the sense of like he has that opportunity, but just everything I've seen so far, the draft capital, the hearing nothing, I think I'm gonna give it up and I'm gonna bury that flag and just hope I end up being wrong.
Oof. Oof. Yeah, that feels like one that's one that you can, you don't have to, like, no one's
I'm
coming
not
back to you.
too worried. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay. All right. That's fine. All right. Well, if we're burying flags, I better get a shovel out here, man. I'm gonna need a big hole for this one.
okay.
Because I made a pretty big stank um about this dude. And I made a big stank about this dude. We'll just go that way. It brings me great pain. I think I got him in like the Sweet 16 now, maybe the round of 32. I did pretty well pushing Israel Abanikanda.
Oh yeah, he made it quite far. I mean, same kind of deal with McBride. Both of them around the same
Just
area.
the love, man.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's not nothing. I mean, McBride led all college in
Yeah.
rushing yards, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
Abanikanda led all.
Speed shows even in the preseason. His speed is showing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
and the touchdown numbers were through the roof with Pitt last year. And but what are you gonna do? Like this guy, he hits the ground running. That touchdown in the Hall of Fame game, that was sweet. Speed to the edge. He's catching balls, doing all the stuff. He's got, his average is 4.5 per carry through the preseason. It's looking really good. It's looking great, if you ask me. But here's what happens to a guy who gets a thigh contusion as a rookie on a team with Brees Hall. I don't know if you heard of this guy, Brees Hall. He's pretty cool. And then a living legend, Dalvin Cook, a true alpha running back, ends up in the running back room with this guy. Like, what are we doing here? And then you got freaking Zonovan Knight, who
Mm-hmm.
did nothing except for be a top 10 running back in his first 3 outings of his NFL career last year. So you're telling me we got an injured rookie probably fighting for a roster spot with Bam Knight, who was like spicy as hell last year.
Yeah.
It's just a nightmare, man. I'm burying the flag. This is a Dalvin burial. You fucked me up, man. You really double deuced me on this. I was heartbroken at the minute that the Jets drafted Abanikanda, and it's just gotten worse and worse. But he looks great on the field, and he's definitely going to be having some great mentors in that running back room. So we'll just see. We'll see how this plays out. I would love it if this guy didn't make the Jets roster and got an opportunity somewhere where he wasn't behind 2 complete studs. But we'll see how it shakes
you never
out.
know. Teams are out there looking for trades and stuff right now.
Yeah. Trade
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor to the Jets.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
There, and then
Stick
the
them
package
on.
would be complete. So
Yeah, no,
all right, man.
you're right. He got a little depth chart burial himself, Izzy Abanikanda. But yeah, he looks good on the field. So maybe if he gets an opportunity with more wiggle room, like you're saying, but it's a tough one for you for sure. I know you liked him a lot.
It's a
All right.
casualty.
So for my last one, and I'm going homerish with this one because we're bringing up Luke Musgrave and we're doing it. And I'm bringing up the last because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. Everybody who listens knows I've been pounding the table for everyone to take a shot on Musgrave as well as Reed because of their ADP and rookie drafts and the fact that they're going to get a ton of work because there's nobody else in the Green Bay offense. But I'm going a step further now. And I'm planting my flag. Not only that Luke Musgrave will be sick, but he's going to have the best rookie tight end season of any of them. The only one I'm worried about is Laporta. Honestly, he's the only one I'm worried about. But Musgrave is already the starting tight end, but it's more than that. In practice the other day, the Packers ran a jet sweep from the 7-yard line, and they handed it off to goddamn Luke Musgrave. They want him to get the ball in so many ways that they're actively scripting new plays for him. This is a completely new play that they did not run. Obviously, what was Robert Tonyan going to do, a tight end jet sweep? No. Matt LaFleur absolutely loves this guy. He's been the talk of training camp. Week 2 versus the Patriots in preseason, Luke Musgrave ran routes on 89% of the snaps that he participated in, and he was targeted on 38% of those routes. That was also the percentage of total targets while he was on the field. He had 38% of the Packers' total targets while he was on the field. They already want to use him all the time, and I just think it's going to work. He looks really explosive. He looks fast. He looks just incredibly versatile and useful for this offense. But also, I'm not going to lie, Jordan Love looks better than he looks good. He looks like he's going to be able to get the ball on time. And I think with that, I'm not saying that the Packers are going to be phenomenal, but I'm saying that Luke Musgrave is going to get a lot of work. This team loves him. It's going a little under the radar. And I think he's going to be sneaky good this year. And a lot of tight end needy dynasty teams that took Darnell Washington before Luke Musgrave are going to be kicking themselves, because I genuinely think Luke Musgraves has the best fantasy season for a rookie tight end this season.
I like that, dude. Obviously, I love you sprinkling a little Sam Laporta, because
he's
you gotta hedge your bets on that.
Pretty much at all the same things you can say about Musgrave, other than the tight end sweep.
The jet sweep, yeah.
You could say about Laporta. So I am worried about him. That's the guy. But I'm planting that flag.
That's beautiful, man. I love that. Yeah, tight end needy teams. I feel like we told everyone not to draft Darnell Washington. Not like there's any proof that we're correct on that, but feels like it's coming, right? Feels like it has to be going that way.
I loved Darnell Washington as a player.
Absolutely.
He's incredible. I wanted him to replace Mercedes Lewis in Green Bay.
Yeah, but that would have been tight.
I'm not looking for fantasy out of him.
Right. Yeah. So he'll be all right. He'll be all right in Pittsburgh. But
great.
I got to do my my last one here. And this is a name we've all heard me say multiple times, but Cedric Tillman, dude. I'm replanting the Cedric Tillman flag. Yeah, dude, this guy looks insane. He looks beautiful, man. It's going really well, man. So the Hall of Fame game, he gets 2 catches, the 20-yarder, 15-yarder. Preseason 1, he's got a 7-yarder. Then last week, preseason week 2, there's a 36-yarder and a 14-yarder. It's just like first downs left and right, looking strong, looking amazing. The whole thing was like, hey, is this guy going to be 100%? Because he came out of his junior year with 1,000 yards, 17 per and 12 touchdowns, looking amazing, plucking everything out of the air. And then he gets injured. And obviously Jalen Hyatt took off and that went well, but you got to imagine if he had stayed healthy throughout that year, he would have been, a top 2nd round draft pick in the NFL. Probably. But that's not what happened. So now you're like, all right, well, let's see what's really going on. Apparently nothing's going on. This dude looked 100% healthy and 100% amazing, like smart on the football field and just snagging balls out of the air, man. It was incredible. I've dropped David Bell, he's gone. Elijah Moore, you're a wild card to me, man. But I think for real, Cedric Tillman could be easily 60 plus catches.
Oh wow.
In his rookie year, man. I know it does. It sounds crazy. I looked it up. Not everyone's doing it except for the, in fact, last year, no one except for the 1st round rookies did it. So it's not like a gimme, but I feel like he is going to be someone that's going to be established on this offense early. And he looks like, I don't know. I remember watching David Bell in the preseason last year being like, ugh. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this guy slots right into the physical, powerful needs of this team, kind of a heavy hitting team if everything's firing on all cylinders. And I think he's got a potential to just be useful and make Donovan Peoples-Jones a little less of a usable fantasy asset. I think he could kind of surpass him pretty quick, man. I don't think he's, a threat to Amari or anything, but I think
But
he could become the number 2 guy here.
it would not surprise me by years in the 3 wide receiver sets lining up for the Cleveland Browns are Cooper, Moore in the slot, and then Tillman on the other side. Like that's
For real.
completely legitimate. It's not
Yeah.
Donovan Peoples-Jones has been better than expected, I'd say, honestly. But like he's not been incredible. It's not, and yeah, like you're saying, Tillman just looks like a professional out there, like just making these clean catches, just wide open hand catches, and then just like you're right. I'm with you. I'm mad I didn't get any shares of him. He seems like a guy.
Me too.
And just like a lot of the guys on this list, specifically like guys like Zay Flowers, it's too late to now go try and trade for them because everyone's seeing the same thing you are.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I'm with you. I think that he'll be really, really good. So there you have it. There are our flag plants. So what do we got coming up next week for him?
All right, we're going to squeeze it in, everybody. We're squeezing it in. We're going to go through the AFC teams, and we're going to do top 5 rankings at each of the skill positions. And I think we'll go in blind and go head to head and maybe have to hash some things out. Might sprinkle in some sleepers and busts as well, and then follow it up with the NFC the next week. So it's getting real, man. We got 2 episodes left before we're talking about actual NFL performances. So
Ooh-wee.
Sign me up.
What a crazy time to be alive. So,
oh yeah.
All right. If you're an AFC head or just in general, you should join us next week. But until then, we've been Rough Draft Research. You've been the audience, and we'll see you next time.
To release that on your heart.